Plain and simple, the #1 secret to growing faster on Instagram is boosting your engagement. If you want to get more reach and get more followers with your account, all you've got to do is improve your engagement. Now, I'm no expert, I'm no guru, I'm not here to sell you something. I'm just here to share what worked for me with you guys. Over the past year, I took my Instagram account to over 34,000 followers. And what I realized is when my engagement was higher, Instagram would put me in front of more people and I would get more followers. So let's start by asking the question, what is engagement and how can we get you some more of it? Well, engagement is all the ways that people can interact with your content on Instagram. Things like likes, saves, shares, and comments. Now, there is a fifth metric that Instagram started counting, but we'll get into that a little bit later. For most people using Instagram, they think this is just a way to show their friends that they enjoy their content. But the way that Instagram uses engagement and all these interactions is to say, hey, is that piece of content quality and is it valuable or not? They use engagement as a way to collect data on your content and on your page. So with that understanding that Instagram is constantly collecting data on you from your engagement, you also need to understand Instagram's goal as a business. Instagram makes money from advertising, and Instagram makes more money when more people stay on Instagram and keep swiping, because that's how they can serve more ads to more people. So ultimately for Instagram, more eyeballs and more time spent on the platform equals more money. So with your content, what Instagram really wants to see from your content is that people are staying with your content for longer and that they're staying on your page longer and that they're not leaving the app right after looking at your content. And I mean, imagine if you're Instagram. It does make sense from a business perspective that some pages are going to be liabilities to you and some pages are going to be assets. And ultimately, as creators on Instagram, our pages are going to fall into one of those two categories for Instagram, asset or liability. And depending on which one you are, Instagram is going to handle your page and your growth accordingly. So ultimately, if you fall into that liability camp and when people see your content on Instagram, they're starting to think things like, why am I following this guy? Why is he posting this? It's irrelevant, it's boring. If people aren't enjoying your content, Instagram is going to look at your page and say, that's a liability to my business and my bottom line. So what they're going to do is they're going to devalue your content and start slowing the amount of people that are seeing your content and start slowing the growth that you're getting with your followers. They're going to slow all of that down because to them, they say, this is not a valuable page for us to push out there. And on the flip side, if people can't get enough of your content, they love your content every time you post, they're so excited, Instagram is going to say, hey, that page is a big asset to us. We need to put this page in front of way more people because when people see this page, they love it. They want to stay on Instagram. They want to keep scrolling. It's a better Instagram experience when people see this page. So going back to your page's engagement and how Instagram collects that data, that's going to be one of Instagram's #1 tools in determining whether or not your page is a liability that they shouldn't push out to more people, or whether it's an asset that they should push out to way more people. So just generally speaking, getting more engagement is going to get you more traffic and more followers on Instagram. So you want to focus on getting that engagement up. Now, I mentioned that there were 5 types of engagement and that there was a hidden 5th metric that Instagram just started counting. And that hidden 5th metric is watch time. So now when you post videos or reels on Instagram, they're looking at your watch time. What percentage of that video are people watching? Are they watching only to the halfway point, 50%, or are they watching the whole thing, 100%? Now, the more watch time you get, obviously the better. But where engagement gets a little bit tricky when we're talking about these 5 factors that Instagram looks at is that they're not exactly weighted equally. It's generally understood that shares and saves are worth more than a like and possibly a comment. Now, likes, even though they might not have the highest value, are still very important to get. But generally speaking, you want to focus on getting your watch time up, your shares, and your saves. Again, comments and likes are also very important, but they might not hold the same weight that those other forms of engagement do. But once again, overall, getting all of those engagement factors up is going to benefit your page. Now, while Instagram looks at all of that data behind the scenes to kind of grade your engagement and grade the quality of your page, there is something that you can do to measure your own engagement and to see where you're at. And the measurement that we're going to use is called an engagement rate. Now, what I recommend is you can use an engagement rate calculator like this one I use from flanks.com. And what this is going to allow you to do is to get an exact percentage for what your engagement rate is. Now, without getting too technical, there are different ways to calculate your engagement rate, but what I found is with this calculator, when you put in your page name, if your page comes up and it has 10% or higher engagement rate, then Instagram is going to start pushing your page in a big way in their algorithm. Now, I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen in all cases. Each page, each niche, each situation is a little bit different, but in my experience, that 10% is the goal. You want to stay there or above to get that fast growth and show Instagram, hey, my page is an asset to the platform that you should push further out there. So now that you're familiar with the 5 forms of engagement and you have a way to measure your engagement, the question becomes, how do we increase your engagement? How do we get your engagement to go up? Now, right off the bat, one of the easiest things that you can do to boost your engagement on Instagram is post at the right time. You can go into your insights and see exactly when your audience is online. And when your audience is most active online, that's when you want to post your content. It's going to boost your engagement just by syncing up their schedule with your content. You're going to get a boost just from the timing. Now, the second most important thing that you can do is focus on your content medium. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but just a regular image post or a regular video post on Instagram typically doesn't get as much push or as much traction in the algorithm as if you post an Instagram reel or a carousel which has multiple slides. And that's because, going back to Instagram's goal as a business, Instagram has recognized that carousels with multiple slides and IG reels keep people on Instagram for longer and make it harder for people to detach from the app. Now, I've got a buddy who's trying to grow a gym page right now, and I let him in on that secret. I said, hey man, focus on lots of slides on your carousels and focus on reels. And since he did that, I've seen his page skyrocket. The amount of engagement that he's getting on each post is significantly more. And I'm definitely not saying that you should never post a regular image post again. I'm just saying that if your content permits it, you should definitely consider doing one of those two post types. And right along with that is the third thing, you should focus on posting good content that's actually worthy of people interacting with it. And I know that it's frustrating when people say that on YouTube, because it's like, well, define good content. What is good content? And nobody really can, because each niche, each page is different and their content is different. But here's a couple universal truths that I think will help you to win in the long term. Am I evoking emotion, and/or am I providing lots of value with my content? Now, one of the easiest emotions to evoke that I constantly go for, because honestly, this type of content outperforms any other type for me, is content that makes people laugh. And I'll give you an example here. You can see how my reach is decreasing, and then I post one solid meme and my content or my reach goes crazy. So I mean, generally speaking, whoever you are or whatever niche you're in, humor is something that you can apply that's going to get you a lot of engagement on your posts. Just being funny, man, especially if it's inside jokes about whatever community you're in or whatever topic you're covering. That's the type of content that a lot of people are going to be able to engage with, enjoy, and really like. And then on top of that, you can find more content that gets good engagement just by really testing your content against itself and saying, okay, what type of content, what trends am I noticing get the best engagement on my own page? Okay, I'm going to lean into that. And if you're kind of at ground zero, another strategy is just to look at big pages in your niche or covering similar topics to you and say, what kind of content works for them and how can I mirror my content strategy after theirs? Now, the fourth thing that you can do to help boost your engagement right after fixing your content is removing ghost followers. And removing ghost followers is basically where you're removing inactive followers from your page that aren't engaging with your content anyways. Now, this isn't going to boost your overall engagement, but it's going to fix your engagement percentage a little bit. You're removing that dead weight, so it's going to make your percentage look more favorable. And it's kind of a complex process that I can't explain all on here, so I'm going to link to a video up top. Now, the fifth way that you can get more engagement on Instagram is by asking for it. And to be clear, I'm not telling you to beg for engagement on your post. That's not something that you should do. But you can leave a clear call to action in your caption telling people to like the post, telling people to share the post or save the post if it helped them. A call to action is one great way to get more engagement out of a post. On top of that, you can use your caption to ask questions that people are going to answer in the comment section. So if you ask a really good, really enticing question about your content or about the topic that you're covering, and you get people down in the comment section asking questions, replying to your question, and you get a good back and forth going, that's going to bring out extra engagement through the comment section. Now, the sixth thing to consider if you're really trying to boost your engagement on Instagram is being intentional with who you're marketing your page to and who you're making your audience. So by example, one of the worst things that you can do on Instagram for your engagement is to put a bunch of generic hashtags on your post, because some of the people that follow you and see your post in the future are going to be people that may not have that much interest in what you cover and what your topic is. If, by example, though, all of your hashtags are hyper specific to your brand, your topic, whatever it is that you cover, the people that end up following you are likely to be a little bit more interested and more real fans. On top of that, if you're doing a strategy like the follow for follow strategy for your growth, you should only follow people that are actively in the comment sections of pages that are super similar to yours. You don't just want to mass follow the 5,000 people that liked a post that's kind of similar to yours. You want to be very intentional with getting an audience that's going to love the content you post because they're interested in that type of content. And with all of that, that's everything you need to know to boost your engagement on Instagram right now. If you guys do want a couple more tips though, I've got this video over here, which will show you even more tips for boosting your engagement on Instagram. With that said, thank you guys for watching. God bless and have a good one, man.